Have you been listening to the news? It's really confusing lately because there's all these crazy stories about home prices going down, recessions, interest rates, and how do you really know what's real? So we're going to jump into some of these topics, and if you ever have any questions on any of these, just let me know. I'm glad to answer any questions you might have. But first, interest rates are up, and they're definitely up there. We're running around 7.5% to 8%. I don't really know exactly what they're going to be in the next few months, but overall, I really expect that next spring, we're probably going to come down a bit. We're not going to be back to the 3 to 4%. I think those days are long gone. And what's happening is with those rising interest rates and the fact that we've had rising home prices, we're really struggling with affordability for a lot of home buyers. And in fact, the total number of homes sold this year compared to last year is down about 30%. So what we're seeing with home prices is really an Econ 101 thing. So home prices are driven by both buyer demand and seller supply. And normally as buyer demand goes up, home prices go up. But what in fact is happening is we are seeing a shortage of homes on the market. So what's going to happen in the next few months is we are heading into our normally seasonal slower market. It happens every year. We have this peak in buyer demand in the spring and the summer. They all move in, they want to be in before the kids start school. And then starting in August, we typically see a normal slowdown. It's September, October, November, December, and January. And then come February, the market picks up again. So what I expect is going to happen is we are going to have a slower couple of months, and then next February, it's going to pick up again. And what's going to happen during the slower time period is we will still have sellers who need to move, putting their home on the market. It's going to take a little bit longer to sell their home. And what happens is we have more homes building up on the market. Now, that is great news for our buyers because it gives you a lot more choices out there. As an example, this spring, this past March, we had 46 homes for sale. Not very many. And this is in the heat of the market when we had multiple offers. Right now, we have about 89 homes for sale. So nearly twice the inventory. So this is really great news for our buyers because they have more choices. Now, if you take a step back and you look at where we were in 2019, we had 200 homes for sale. So we're still only about half of the inventory where we would normally be at. So you might be asking about home prices, because if you read the news out there, it sounds like it's gloom and doom. Well, here in central Iowa, we don't have those high highs, and therefore we don't have the low lows. Here, we are still seeing home prices appreciating. Right now, year to date, looks like we're probably going to be somewhere around 5 to 8% by the end of the year. What's average? 4. So we're definitely seeing home prices appreciating higher than normal. Now, looking ahead to next year, I think that's going to slow down a bit. And I expect that homes are still going to appreciate, but at our more normal 3 to 4%. Do I see home prices declining? No, not at all. So if you're a buyer, here's what you need to know. We are seeing more inventory, giving you more choices. This is great news because a lot of buyers think they need to wait till next spring to buy. And I'm actually telling my buyers that's not the case. If you are ready, willing, and able to buy, and you find a home that you really like, it might actually make sense to purchase now because you might actually have the ability to negotiate for once. As opposed to if you wait till next spring and those interest rates come down and we have all these buyers come out, you might be in multiple offer situation again. So if you were a seller, one thing to realize is that homes are taking just a little bit longer to sell. Kind of depends upon your price range. It might be 14 days, it might be 30 days. It might even be 60 days if you've got a higher end home. But the other thing you need to realize is buyers, because of their cramped budgets, are really looking for move-in ready homes. So take that extra effort, touch up the paint, give it a good cleaning. If you need to update some carpet, it's probably worth it. So one of the next questions I get is, what do we expect in the future? Well, here's what I think. I think the interest rates are going to stay higher, but they'll come down just a skosh. hopefully somewhere in the 6% range. There is also a lot of pent-up buyer demand. And I think when those interest rates drop next spring, we are going to see the buyers come back out in force. We will likely see multiple offers again in the lower end first-time home buyer market. But I think there is going to be a little less demand for those move-up homes. The other thing that I expect is going to happen is home prices will continue to appreciate, but at a much more normal 4% a year. I'm getting a lot of questions from people that are currently renting, and they're wondering if it still makes sense to buy a home or if they really should rent. And I go back to some of the financial statistics. Did you know that here in the US, the average homeowner has 40 times the net worth of the typical renter? And it's because of the compounding effect of home ownership. So your home that was worth $200,000 is worth $208, then $216. And next thing you know, it's $250 and it's $300. And at some point in time, you're going to have your mortgage paid off and you will not have any monthly payment. However, if you continue to rent a home, each year that rent is going to go up and up and up. And after 5 to 10 years, you will not have any equity in your home. So yes, I feel that affordability is an issue. And so we definitely want to work with you and find a home within your budget. But I still think buying a home is still an amazing investment and a good way of investing in your future. So after all of this is said and done, are you curious what your home is worth? Well, give me a shout. I'd be glad to run a home equity analysis for you. And maybe it makes sense to purchase a summer home, or maybe it makes sense to purchase a rental home, or maybe you just need to downsize, or maybe you're renting and you're curious to know what your net worth would be in 5 to 10 years after owning a home. We're always here to help. This is Misty Mechke, Realtor with Hunsker & Associates, here to help with all of your questions.